Next one.
Okay.
My piece. Mm-hmm.
Can I take off the headphones yet?
Nope. Alright, come here. We're gonna sand it down. Okay. So.
Are we gonna cut that other side?
Nah, we just need to make sure we're staying inside. Alright. Do you want to draw the heart, or do you want me to draw the heart?
You.
Okay.
I love it.
Here is what we're going to do. Instead of cutting it with scissors, I'm just going to cut it down with my knife.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's windy out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, we're going to use just a little bit of tape.
To hold it down.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to cut it? You don't have any scissors. Oh, here it is. Just a little bit of...
Alright. Now, here is what we'll do next. You got a hammer here. You can also use the hammer over there, and I'm going to go get you some nails, okay?
Okay. Have nails.
These are the nails we're going to use, because these are the ones I have.
Do you have any hammer?
Alright. We're going to take them. We're going to drive them in
To the heart?
on those lines. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. You do the next one. I'll get it started for you. You keep it going. Further back. Okay. Hold the board with this hand. Okay. Like that.
We did it!
Okay, now we're going to do the next one. Okay. Got some stuff going through the back. Sorry, I can grind that off. Alright. So we got that there, so we can go ahead and take this off. You want to take the paper off?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay.
The inside.
Okay.
We
So
don't
here's our
have
ball of
colorful string like that.
No, we don't have colorful string either. Here, let's take a board. Put a board then in there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tie our string around one of the nails.
Then we can do over it up. I shut it back up. I shut it. Ooh.
All right. Now
I can open and shut.
Now what we got to do?
Go all around.
Just gonna go around and around.
Hey,
So,
just like my Elsa coat thing. Except we're doing a heart. Wow.
Let's see. Let's go over here and go up here. Do one more thing real quick.
Okay.
And that is, I'm going to put a dab of glue on the end of that. Hopefully keep it from coming undone. And then, how about we write something on it?
Dear Mommy, I hope you will like my present.
Alright.
Stuff is red.
Ta-da! There it is. Project from curly top to mama. Done.
Hello.
Hey! So, just jumping on here to finish out this video, and we want to give a little bit about what we experienced while having COVID. Because if you hadn't guessed yet, that's why we've been gone for a couple weeks, if you've even noticed that we were gone. But probably
Nobody
not.
knew we were gone.
Probably not. But that's okay. We're just doing this to have fun, and I'm enjoying it. So,
literally days after Christmas, we found out that we had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually still staying with family, and we thought we just had, like, some colds. Because kind of what it felt like at first. And I'm like, oh, okay. We're just a little under the weather.
It had been
busy
cold.
week.
We'd worked out in the cold.
And so we didn't think anything much of it. And
Right.
then we get back home and started to, like, feeling a little more down, like, run down.
And so you started pulling out some vitamins, some of the herb stuff, some of the oil stuff that you put on us.
And we did suspect that it could be COVID.
Right.
Because, like, my mom was also feeling bad, and she was having some other symptoms that were a little more classic of COVID. And so she's like, I'm just letting you know. I know we've, like, been together over Christmas. So we're like, there's a chance.
That it actually
but we
is
still
COVID.
weren't sure. And we're like, should we go get tested? Should we not?
Yeah. And so as she was getting out some oils and some things, she has some of the little roller bottle things that she's made up.
Of essential oils.
And she opened one up, and you couldn't smell it.
I put it all over me, and I'm like, I can't smell it. I smelled the bottle, and I was like, that's so weird. I said,
and so she brought it over to me, and it was like,
hey,
hey,
they don't go bad.
Hey, can you smell this? And I was like, I smelled it, or sniffed at it, and I was like, no, I can't smell a thing. And so then she took it to little man, and was like, hey, can you smell this? And he smelled it and was like, oh, it smells so good, Mom. And I was just like, oh, and the girls, yo, it smells so good. Oh, yeah, it smells great. And we're like, okay, we can't smell anything. And it wasn't the weirdest thing about having Corona or COVID or whatever you want to call it. We typically just call it COVID. But I told Whitney at one point, it had never in my mind occurred to me that smelling and breathing could be separated. Like just breathing through my nose and smelling were always synonymous in my mind. And so that was definitely one of the weird things that happened.
Yeah. And then it was within like maybe 20 minutes or so of like being like, all right, I think it really is legit what we have. This is really what we have. Then we found out that like a couple other people from our church had already tested and got a positive. And we'd just been around them because we had like a Christmas service a couple days before Christmas. And so we're like, yeah, there's not a doubt that this is what we have.
And then it ended up being like a ton of people we knew that we'd been around during Christmas all ended up having it. And
so,
yeah, it was definitely interesting.
So it was a nice, like, quiet start to the new year.
Yeah.
Because we were sick, but the week between Christmas and New Year's, and then pretty much the week after New Year's as well. So, I mean, like, we literally went to bed at, like, 8 o'clock on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And then woke up the next day and, oh, it's 2021.
Right. And, I mean, small blessings, or maybe even big blessings, through this it didn't happen during, like, a big garden time season. Like, there's not a whole lot to be doing in the garden right now. There's not a whole lot other than just... I was still teaching in the mornings, but other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot else to do that we had to do. And so
he'd come in and crash.
I'd go teach in the mornings and then come in and crash. And so it really was kind of nice that there wasn't too much other stuff that we had to do and that we were able to just take some time and rest. And so that was the biggest thing for me. The biggest crazy thing for me was just the zap on my energy and just not being able to do stuff the way I'm used to being able to do stuff. And literally I would go teach for a couple hours and then I was like done completely for a while. And just little projects.
He never stops usually, so it was weird to see him so tired.
And yeah, just doing little projects, I would have to stop and sometimes sit down and just catch my breath. Or I decided at one point that I was going to redo the steps, like right in the middle of all this for the front porch. And that video will be coming out later, I think. But yeah, so just not a good idea. But yeah, just craziness stuff.
But the kids' energy was like, wow!
Right.
And they had to be like stuck inside for 2 weeks pretty much the whole time. There was a few days they went outside and played. But
when it was cold.
It was so cold. And so we were exhausted and they had so much energy. And so we were like, we watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
We did a lot of crafts. They got a lot of craft stuff. And so that kept them busy. And
Thank you to everyone who got them craft stuff for Christmas. It helped us out during this.
Yeah, they got Legos for Christmas too. And so that was a big thing that they played with. And then we did a lot of like
shed became
YouTube
like
videos for them. Like we did like YouTube ballet lessons and then YouTube kung fu lessons. And so they would do that in the afternoons.
Well, Curly Top loves ballet. Definitely wants to do ballet in the future to some extent. And so she actually probably has really enjoyed getting to do that. And we've actually decided to make that part of like her regular routine, and Little Man's too, is doing some of these online lesson stuff. So again, another thing to come out of this that's probably a positive thing. So that's fun too.
Yeah. So it was a little crazy 2 weeks. But thankfully, like, we didn't have, I mean, like, obviously we weren't hospitalized. We didn't have it like that bad. I mean, I wouldn't say that it was like super minor symptoms, because I know some people, they're like, oh, all I got was just like a sniffle. Or like I was tired for a couple days. I mean, like, we were pretty much wiped out for the full 2 weeks. And like, you know, some serious head congestion,
headaches.
Minor cough, some headaches. I was dealing with like heart palpitations from it. Like for me, that was like the worst symptom. Because it was kind of scary at times.
Right, yeah. Just kind of odd and different feeling.
Yeah. But, like, at the same time, like, we weren't having breathing issues. We weren't having serious coughing or anything like that. So, we were very blessed that it was on the minor side.
Right, definitely. Definitely not as bad as some people have had it. And praying for those that we know who have had it really bad. And some other relatives that we have that have had it worse as well. So, But yeah, so God has been good. God allowed us to have it during a time when there wasn't a whole lot to do. God allowed us to be able to handle pretty much everything normally, somewhat. Gave us the energy we needed to do what we needed to do.
Yep.
God is very good to us through this.
And it was just kind of like a nice break almost, like to be quarantined for 2 weeks with nothing that was like, oh, bummer, now we have to miss out on this.
Right.
And so it was kind of like, in a way, it was nice because we were able to just like hang out with the kids when we did have energy. Like we were just hanging out with them and doing stuff.
Got to stay in comfy clothes.
Yes.
For pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, like days on end. Days on, same pair of pajama pants.
Right, yeah. There was one day whenever I was going to go try to work on the steps, and I put on some jeans, and I was like, oh, I think this is the first time I've put on jeans in like a week. And like, it's very abnormal for me. Usually, like, as soon as I get up, I'm putting on my jeans, my boots. I mean, I'm fully dressed for the rest of the day. So, yeah. Definitely different for me.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
But
so, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah. So that's our update from the past couple weeks, and we're all better now, and back to some regular videos, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. I also had some time to do some planning stuff, to write out some of what we wanted to do with the channel and with the garden and the farm and some of that moving forward, and kind of just reevaluate some of that stuff. Took some pressure off of it, honestly. Decided that we're just gonna have fun with this and just do it because we want to be a blessing and hope other people will enjoy watching it and not really care about the other side of it.
All right.
So, fun takeaways. Love y'all. Praying for you. Hope no one else is having to deal with being sick too badly. I know that most of the people that we know that got it are on the mend, and so definitely thankful for that.
All right. See y'all later.
See ya.